Good morning, my fellow yoga travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, live the life we love. It's Friday, so Friday is my PowerPoint presentation day. For those of you who used to be students at the Yoga Circle, I project these images, presentation literacy, and give a quick comment on it. So I'm going to riff through this. This is called Affirming Your Potential. The first thing I got to say is our culture is more like a necrophiliac than a biophiliac. We have to learn how to love life instead of death, and also be in denial of death, which is another problem that we have. We don't want to face limitation and mortality. And so that leaches energy out of being fully alive. All right, so the key to understanding is put yourself in an environment where you're likely to thrive. A willow tree planted by the river has almost 100% chance of actualization. But if it's planted by the desert, probably not. Not so much, huh? So, like all programs, it works if you works. Find a circle where you can fess up, share your truth, make your inner world visible to other people as well as to yourself. And then go down and do likewise. Right? There are works of mercy, even if you're not a religious person. But the biblical idea is telling you the 7 corporeal works of mercy: to feed the hungry, give drink to the thirsty, clothe the naked, shelter the homeless, visit the sick, visit the imprisoned, bury the dead. And then the spiritual works are to counsel the doubtful, instruct the ignorant, admonish the sinners, comfort the afflicted, forgive offenses, bear wrongs patiently, and pray for the living and the dead. So that's why we say when you come to class, I'm here to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable, wake you up out of your complacency. So just like the Wizard of Oz, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. He gave each person what they thought they were lacking, right? He gave a medal for the courage to the lion. He gave a diploma to the scarecrow for brains. He gave a heart to the tin man. So again, it's like action, love, and thought. Now, research has shown that the best way to be happy is to make each day happy. Happiness isn't constant, but it's the result of a good life lived. So that healing process where sometimes they give you something in the form of like a placebo and it seems to work 50% of the time, but then the tangible thing is really the relationship that you have with the healing practitioner. And then eventually they let you off the short leash and you take responsibility. Yoga is the ultimate stop the buck. The buck stops here. Personal responsibility for making choices in your life. And then success comes to one who practices, not to one who practices not. It's really simple. If you do it, you're going to get results. If you don't, you're not. Yoga teaches you to cure what need not be endured and endure what cannot be cured. My life is a perfect example of that. Now, Ramana Maharshi is one of the saints from the past century. Concentrating on thoughts of yourself will only lead to happiness or bliss. Drawing your thoughts in and restraining them, preventing them from going outwards. That's what's called vairagya, dispassion to your own thoughts, fixing them on the self and focusing on them. That practice is called abhyasa. And then concentrating on the heart is the same as concentrating on the self. The heart is another name for the self. In yoga practice, we say abhyasa and vairagya. You hit the mat and do it with uninterrupted reverential devotion over time, and then you give up the fruits, give up the results. Starhawk, modern Wiccan, says, unless I have enough personal power to keep commitments in my daily life, I'll be unable to wield magical power. To work magic, I need a basic belief in my ability to do things and cause things to happen. That belief is generated and sustained by my daily actions. Walking your talk, huh? As Carlos Castaneda's Yaqui sorcerer Don Juan says, even if I gave you the key to the secret of the universe, but you had no personal power, it would do you no good. Yoga is all about focus, ekagrata, one-pointedness. And yet at the same time, the paradox of seeking perfection in human affairs is a perfect way to destroy them. Like in Gestalt psychology, perfection is a yardstick with which you beat yourself. You're always going to come up short, but you aspire. You have a high ideal. Like they say, your reach should exceed your grasp. Otherwise, what's a heaven for? And then you have to remember, staying positive doesn't mean you have to be happy all the time. It means that even on hard days, there are better days are coming. You got to lift your mindset above the clouds and realize the sun is still shining there. And besides, all the time doesn't exist. So take that pressure off yourself and just do it as much as you possibly can. And then, of course, a lot of what we're doing is what we call reclamation work, to reclaim past parts of ourselves that have been shut and locked away with a sign saying, keep out, verboten, don't go there. And of course, there's so much that can be reclaimed once you're willing to look once again, respect once again, look again, and bring something different to it, reframe it. And then you understand completely that everybody's been hurt, everybody's a variation of some kind of walking wounded, and we can't fix the brokenness, but we can bless it. So the Dalai Lama is a really great example, sending out good waves to everybody, regardless. And then I love the Jewish story. Here's Zalman Schachter on one side and Shlomo Carlebach on the other side, two rabbis. Both have been influential for me. And it reminds me of the story that, when you go to visit your rabbi on Shabbos, if your burdens are heavy, not until you get into the town where the rabbi lives that you realize, okay, I've dropped the stuff I'm carrying. But other people, they're more burdened, and it's not until they pass by the rabbi's door, kiss the mezuzah, and they're in the rabbi's house, then they lighten up. But for those whose burdens are so deep, it's not till they actually see the rabbi's face that they're able to let go and have that peace. And I hope you all find that yourself.